Hello and welcome! I'm Joey Nicolella, and this is Appalachian Dragons, where me and my beloved backwoods bastards get together and we like to play some Dungeons and Motherfucking Dragons!
Dungeons and
Dungeons and
Dragons!
Dragons!
We are so excited to be bringing you a brand new campaign live for the very first time on Twitch and YouTube. But before we dive into the fun and the action, we do have a couple of things we want to say first. Primarily, that this campaign is a continuation of the adventure Storm King's Thunder. And as we will be following the legendary Lords of Nightstone, if you haven't seen that campaign yet, there are some spoilers. I'm going to try to minimize them, but it's sort of inevitable. At the very same time, I do want to tell you that this is a completely separate plot from Storm King's Thunder. So if you haven't seen that, you don't need to follow what's going on. While we're talking about the campaign, I am going to take a second to say that this is inspired by Tyranny of Dragons, which is to say we took the overall concept, but ripped everything else out. Its original NPCs, locations, baddies, plots, hooks, all sorts of that stuff. All that's different from what. So if you came here looking for tips on how to run Tyranny of Dragons, you're probably wrong. But that leads us to our name. If I could get a drum roll, please. Tyranny of Flagons! I'm very excited about this. We've been very busy, like crazy busy, honestly, working to bring so many projects to fruition. We have a Discord server up and running that I think is growing much faster than any of us anticipated. We have a Spotify page where Brandon's awesome music is going to be available, so you can truly listen to these sick tracks that Brandon's been putting out. We've also published our first supplement, The Graver the Fall, which is a creature pack featuring 12 stat blocks, 42 art options, ghost stories, and more. Available on DM's Guild. Links to all this stuff can be found on our YouTube and Twitch pages, so you should be able to find that pretty easy. We're also working on getting a revised version of Episode 1 for Storm King's Thunder, because we had some audio issues in there, and that's no fun. And we want people to be able to enjoy the campaign in its entirety. So we're going to work on getting that fixed. We may even do a synopsis video of Storm King's Thunder, just for people who want to jump into this and get like the highlights. So if that's the case, we might have that working. If you're interested, let us know. Lastly, before we dive in, just want to set the scene of where we left off and fill you in on some minor details, things that occurred off camera in a end of campaign one shot, which frankly I wasn't aware I would have to face the repercussions of. So without further ado, let's dive in. After putting a stop to the monstrous armies of Bane Darkwind and killing the dragon Alglotix, who had harnessed the Nightstone's godlike power, the Lords of Nightstone set to making the world right once again. They helped rebuild cities that Bane had razed, not the least of which was Davos' hometown, as New Orleans. After their long work was finally done, Davos the Dawnbringer and his alchemical romance Helena were wed on the summer solstice, and even featured a surprise VIP as the Summer Queen of the Fey Realm arrived in the material plane. She did this because she had sensed a cursed artifact had come into the Fey Realm earlier, and this was her opportunity to come out on the summer solstice. Bergen Stonespire, pure of heart and burdened by the curse of the Ring of Winter, placed the ring upon her, and by doing so, when the Winter Queen's ring met its polar opposite, it shattered the dark artifact that had plagued Bergen's family for generations. Speaking of breaking family curses, Gulbrand Starkeeper, feeling a little weary after his years away from the tribe, led a gifted child from each of the Uthgard tribes to the Starmount Mountains. He bestowed his vast wisdom onto the next generation of Uthgard's children, giving each tribe the power to see and follow the Golden Path, and allowing Gulbrand to finally rest from his exhausting endeavors. Vikura, the Veil Walker, continued his journey across Faerun with his dear partner Tabitha, and together sought out all those unfortunate spirits who remained trapped between realms. Absorbing them as he did, Vikura maintained his bargain with the Raven Queen by delivering them unto her, so that she could provide them with the long-awaited peace that the afterlife promised. Aarkunaux, the Red Death, now champion of the restored Ruby Dragon, became captain of the Westwind Wyvern, and alongside Bahamut's champion Tajin, sought to maintain the balance of good and evil within the world, particularly in regard to matters involving dragons. Aarkunaux reveled in sharing his devil-may-care, chaotic neutral worldview with the Platinum Dragon's more rigid, goody-two-shoes instincts, allowing the crew of the Wyvern to operate in a much more nuanced and flexible manner rather than seeing the world in black and white. 2 years after the fall of Alglotix, Pandora Siren's Bane, ambitious as ever, gathered the party once again and led them within the underbelly of the continent to the Underdark, the city of Skullport. where they overthrew Xanathar, the vicious beholder, who had filled the power vacuum made when the lords had killed Amerigo the Horned Dwarf. And not one to make the same mistake twice, she was all too happy to assume the helm of leadership, and in doing so was crowned Pirate Queen of Skullport. And thus the lords went their separate ways, living mostly independent lives, but still getting together every year, whether Gulbrand wanted to or not, to celebrate their victory over the innumerable dark forces that failed to pry the Nightstone from their grasp. And while there have been instances where they call upon each other for aid, they have not been needed to gather in their full force for 5 long years. That is, until today. And with that, let us begin our adventure in Tyranny of Flagons!
Ass and titties.
And we're back. We zoom across the continent of Faerun, passing over the high forest, the star mounts, racing along the river Delambir, over the city of Nightstone, now floating in its gleaming amethyst glory, rushing up to Waterdeep and beyond, racing along the coast until we find a cave concealed from view. And in delving into it, making our way through a labyrinth of river tunnels, we make our way to the underdark city of Skullport. This city has been worse by many accounts. The once rough and tumble slave city has outlawed slavery and in many ways improved the quality of life. Not putting on the Ritz or anything, but it's certainly not as bad off as it was. We approach a large, sprawling building with fine tapestries and hear music playing from within. We go through the double doors and see a lively casino, tables that are being played at, women and men in skimpy outfits serving drinks. A very lively atmosphere that is rather light and with a lot of levity compared to the city as it was before. And as we go up the master grand staircase, through the doors, we see a familiar figure. Pandora. Barbara, would you please describe your character for us?
All right, so Pandora mostly remains unchanged from our last campaign. She is a snow leopard tabaxi with dual braids and a big, huge satiny blue bow in her hair. Snow leopard features. She's got piercing blue eyes and wears exactly what you think of when you think of like pirate garb. It's almost got like a I guess like a Johnny Depp flair with all the like buckles and bells and whistles, and obviously she keeps a lot of treasure on her. And she also can easily be mistaken for her twin sister, who wanders Skullport and also helps with the Nine Lives. They're practically interchangeable in appearance completely.
Pandora, as opposed to most leaders. Pandora now is leaning over her desk, feeling her migraine grow as she looks over the many papers, many of them reporting a refusal to pay their tithes until Pandora can stop a wave of unprecedented theft. For while this is a lawless city, there are still interests to be maintained. It used to have an air of danger, inherent excitement that came from the risk, and you have traded the open seas and ocean winds for the stagnant, often putrid waters of Skullport, which I imagine weighs on you just a bit. Added to this is posters of missing shipments and individuals who have traveled through the tunnels in the Underdark trying to get to Skullport and were unsuccessful. It's been quite the issue as of late. Just outside of this building, over the docks, we see two figures within 5 spires of stalagmites that have met the stalactites. Once the Tower of 7 woes, now the Tower of 5. And as we see 2 winged dragonborn sparring. The first is a platinum dragonborn, unarmed with hand wraps and a buckler on his shield. And the other, Aarkunaux. Ben, would you describe Aarkunaux for me?
Aarkunaux is a near 7 foot tall. Well, I was almost about to say red dragonborn. He is a ruby dragonborn, so his scales are a glistening red color. He has a breastplate. Aarkunaux looks exactly like he used to. He's very unchanged. But the only difference you see is that he has a large golden necklace with a flat ruby, which is now his holy symbol, because Aarkunaux is now the Paladin of Sardior. And yeah, everything to think about Wind Dragon.
You and Tajin, both of you aerial dragonborns, are in your sparring. And you know what? Let's make a quick check about this. Do me a favor. Roll we'll just call it an athletics check. Oh,
17.
Much better than him. He rolled, with his modifier, he rolled a 17. So actually, closer than I thought. Tajin rushes up to you and tries to pop you with a flurry of blows, but you very deftly, I imagine you're wielding Douse and Dredge?
I'd say so, yeah.
Very deftly, using the chain on Dredge, catch one of his arms and pull him to the side, and using the butt end of Douse, pop him in the back. Just nothing too hard, but enough to, you guys don't pull your punches very much with each other, especially not when you're, training to be on the top of your game.
Keep telling you not to hold back to Gene.
I wish I could say I was. You two go about this for several minutes until finally you're interrupted by a sudden thunder, which is very unusual. You are miles underground. Storms are not an occurrence here. And this thundering voice echoes within your ears, and you recognize it as King Hecaton. He booms through you. Aarkunaux, Tajin, I seek an audience with the Draconic Champion for a matter of grave import. Join me in Maelstrom, where we can discuss such dangerous matters in security and solitude. As his voice fades out, this crackle disappears. You realize that the whole city heard the thunder, but only you two got the message. Jean kind of cocks his head and looks at you. This seems rather urgent. Should we reach out to Pandora and bring her along?
Might as well. Me and her always work better in pairs.
You guys soar your way across the city, landing on a convenient balcony on the back of Pandora's office, and make your way through the double glass doors to find Pandora. What do you say to her?
I think I'd walk in and sarcastically say, "Well, greetings, Captain. I fancy a word."
They're gonna have one of those bro hugs where they smack each other around, give each other a gut punch. That's what they do.
Give you a shoulder punch and throw you back a foot.
Yeah, for real.
Bite you. Yang, 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 yang.
Tajin fills you in on the message, which you were aware of the thunder and were rather confused until hearing this, and asks you two if you should take the West Wind Wyvern or the Crimson Inferno. Decisions. Right. Or the 9 lives. I have a whole fucking fleet now, Jesus.
Right. Well, I figure if we're going to Maelstrom, I want to take the Inferno.
Excellent. You guys make your way down to the docks, and originally see no ship before you cry out and your draconic and the water begins to bubble. And rising up from the water is this absolutely enormous dragon turtle. And you can see as it arises, as if there were a bubble upon its back, the water pools away from it in a safe dome, and you see a crew, pretty much entirely of kobolds and dragonborn, who are very happy to be back on the move. You see a few familiar faces. You see that young Volcano, now a teenager, does not prefer to go by Young Volcano and has been trying to rebrand himself as Vulcan. It's not really catching on, but he's trying. He's got a little bit of that angst with him still. You see Kyrax and Malrog, some of the leaders of this ship. You see Chili, who is hard at work cooking and is more than happy to get you guys a road snack. And Captain Dynamite, retired from being captain, so just crewman Dynamite, I suppose, but a little older, a little more frail since we last seen him, but still happy to be there in spirit. As well as these 3 kobolds, which are practically tripping over each other as they make their way up to you. And as Ben described them, very lock, shock, and barrel, which I think is a very apt description. I just realized I can't drop this and just paste it onto the map. That is dumb. I'll drop it into chat instead. Coming into your Storm King's Thunder chat. You see Rock approaches you first, the sort of dumber brute, and grunts at you. Some people who don't speak Draconic might mistake it for Draconic, but it is just nonsensical. While their sort of leader, is very eager to get back on the road. I think it's nice to be back on the open seas. As well as Crunchy, who begins barking orders that no one's really listening to. Find the halyard! Find the stays! And, absolute nonsense, as this ship does not rely on wind anyway. It's a dragon turtle, but it makes him feel self-important. You guys pile onto the Crimson Inferno, which makes its way up the water run. To get into Skullport, you go through the fearsome flume and tunnels that go down. To get out, there's actually a waterfall that descends in reverse, allowing you guys to get altitude and make your way out. You guys go at this for several miles before you pop out quite a ways into the ocean, about 40 miles away from the continental shelf. From the coast. Everyone is happy to be back out. And it doesn't take you long, and you find that the currents are working in your favor. Before you arrive at the city of Maelstrom, towers of coral and vibrant sea glass, nestled in this trench surrounded by reefs, and absolutely teeming with aquatic creatures of all kinds. You do see about a dozen or so storm giant guards that, at one point in your pirate lives, would have been quite the fearsome sight. Storm giants are known for taking down ships that get too close to their territory, and yet these regard you with respect and honor. You are the champions who saved the Storm King and the Princess Sarissa. They guide you into port. There are not many ships here, but there are the occasional vessels that get here with protection, and guide you into the main chambers. This absolute dome of sea glass that brings in beautiful multicolored light from the bit of light that does make it this deep. And you see, sitting upon the throne is King Hecaton, and at his side, his daughter Sarissa. Hecaton dips his head at you.
Aarkunaux turns the gesture.
Thank you for your swiftness, Aarkunaux, Jean, captains. I wish we were on better terms.
What seems to be the problem, Your Majesty?
Sarissa actually is the one to speak up and go, it is a matter of, well, we fear grave import. When Imelda, Imerith, the dragon, was here, she was our chancellor, a very trusted advisor. And we have come across something that we believe to have belonged to her. And she lowers down her hand, which is rather massive. I mean, we're talking about, size of a full-size bed, lowers down, and in it, to you, what would be, in scale, less a small trinket, is just a 4-inch obsidian chest. If you pick it up and glance at it, It's inlaid with silver etchings that are impossibly intricate for something of this size, and set with a series of brilliant blue sapphires. On the dark stone, it looks as if cobalt stars on jet black sky, and it's speckled with and to be able to guide us. Do you know where he might be?
So Rogue's a nomad. He goes wherever the wind takes him. The only way to find him is just for him to pop up.
Another. I seem to remember one of your allies possessing a crystal ball. Perhaps that could be used to locate him.
Maybe Davos?
Let us make our way. See if we can.
Seems something flashy you'd have.
See if we can't. Now I'm imagining like the Fae Fighters having this as like one of those balls that like shoots electricity in the middle of it, like as part of their set. From this point, you guys load back up onto the ship, head back, and start heading back to Skullport, where you will get the Western Wyvern, where you can travel above land and continue your way across there. But while that's happening, we zoom up from Maelstrom, break through the surface, rush across the waves and over the cliffs, making our way to the high forest, and eventually to the Star Mount, where we see this ring of dormant volcanoes, where we find Gulbrand Starkey. Now, Devin, I want you to describe Gulbrand, but I want you to do it bearing in mind that you are currently 100 feet up, blood splattered, gripping onto the back of an airborne rock. Go.
I mean, Gulbrand's having a great time. Probably the first thing anyone would notice is like
Yeah,
big
right.
old huge grin on his face. His beards went from collarbone to like middle of his sternum, as y'all have seen his art. And he is just going at it. I like to think he's holding on with his hand axes. He's made some more, and he's got them dug into like it's behind its shoulder blades where he can hang on. One's hand's holding on, and the other hand's using the axe to like chop. He's having a great time.
How does he visually look, and does he look any different from when we last saw him?
So Gulbrand's probably between 65 and 70 now. He is aged. Beard snow seasoned. Beard is snow white. He's a Goliath. He's still jacked. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger levels of ripped, but you can see, I guess they wouldn't have liver spots. Their skin looks kind of alabaster, is how most Goliaths they look like they're almost made of stone. He has his belt of stone giant strength around him, which is the largely the way he's still holding on and doing this at his age. He has a blue bear skin wrapped around his shoulders. The head that would be the hood is probably thrown back in the wind because he's in the air trying to kill this thing. He's got a big old it's not obsidian. It's made of meteorite, if I remember correctly. A big great axe on his back that's got like a ram's head as the kind of spine at the back of the axe. Not drawing right now. He's got to hold on to this dude, but looks very much like a barbarian. I guess there's probably all kinds of little knickknacks hanging from him. Shamanistic things. He's got a big square tablet hanging from his chest. He wears around a necklace. Yeah.
You are currently gripped onto this rock, flying through the air. You are raging. You are in a constellation, if you so choose, or concentrating. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to act first, as this rock is trying desperately to fling you off of its back. Yeah, we coming out swinging, motherfucker. We rolling.
I mean, how does it look?
It's bloodied. You caught this thing by surprise. You managed to get a couple of hits on it. In its startled state, it has not had a chance to hit you yet, but that is going to change very quickly.
Alright, so I think Gulbrand is going to... while attached to it, he said I could be in a constellation.
If you wanted to. Yes, sir.
He's going to be in his dragon constellation.
Nice. Excellent.
Which is helpful for concentration things, because he's going to cast confusion on it while he's, like, literally, ice picked into its back here.
Fantastic. Will you drop that in chat for me, Mike?
Did that put it there? Oh, I need to put the whole thing in here. I got you.
Not see it.
Oh, wrong button. I got it.
There we go. All right. So we're gonna roll a d6 to determine this.
I think it has to make a save too. Looks like it's got.
We're gonna say that you passed this like when you approached it, so you already have this in it. You're gonna get the BOTD, my guy. A D10. Let's see what we got. That's a 5. The creature doesn't move or take actions. I'll say that's the previous turn. And I'll roll a new one here in just a second, because that's one of the reasons that you've been able to wail so effectively on this. All right, for your action, what do you do, my dude?
Oh, I mean, he's gonna go at it. Like, can he take his axe out? I guess he can't, because he's trying to hold on. He can't take his big axe out.
I'll allow it. You could be at a point where maybe you're gripping on with your legs or something, where you could wield the 2-axe.
Like pickaxe style with his hand axe to the wing, wraps his legs around the wing joint, leans back, grabs his axe, flicks it out, and just starts, lumberjacking on this thing.
Swing, motherfucker, swing.
Witness.
Did that? Oh yes, no. He is in the middle of the air where no one can see. Witness.
It echoes throughout the valley, and every creature is aware of your existence if they weren't already. 19. That's a solid hit. That's a 15 points of damage.
Yeah.
You another swing or anything, my guy?
Yeah, I guess because he can. It's been so long. 17 damage. 28.
Damn, coming out swinging. You cleave twice into this, and the rock sort of rolls onto its back and is trying to get its claws between you and it. It's going to take 2 swipes at you. That's a 24 and a 17. Does that hit?
A 17 does not hit. Wow.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah,
beefy for a barbarian. Tanky for a barbarian, excuse me. You're going to take 23 points of damage, and I need you to make a grapple check as it tries to grab you to fling you off of it.
It can try.
You have a DC of 19, but pretty beefy, so we'll see how that goes.
16.
16. Oh, okay.
I'm not raging, so I don't get advantage either.
Oh, you are raging. You're concentrating on a spell though. So yeah.
Yes, sir.
It does claw you, and it actually flings you off of it. And while many creatures would take this as an opportunity to escape, this rock is prideful. This is its valley. It has made its home here. Its families have lived here for generations. It has hatched here. It will die here, maybe today.
I will.
It's made both of its attacks. I'm sorry. It does get to make a beak attack as well. That's definitely going to hit. That's a 27. It's going to swing it. It's going to try to peck at your neck. Try to hit you in the shoulder where you're holding your axe. That's a 27 for damage, my guy.
27.
And then we throw back to you.
What did it roll to hit?
It rolled a 20. It rolled a 27. That's funny. And it also does 27 points of damage.
Yeah. Now it's my turn again? I mean, Gulbrand. That's scared. Yeah. Gulbrand
go
thing. Does it have to do its confusion thing again?
It does, actually. Thank you for saying that. Okay, that is going to be...
So it's supposed to do that TD10 at the start of its turn. Interesting.
It's going to use all of its movement to move in a random direction. I think it's still going to get you in the flyby. One, I guess we'll say north. We also have an extra plane of dimension, too, now. Regardless, it swipes at you and moves back a bit. What do you do?
I mean, I'll follow, and I can't fly. If it's close enough to hit, I will keep swinging on it.
Can't swing melee. Do you have a ranged spell?
A ranged spell? I can change my kajiggers. I can change my...
You can change your kajiggers. You could go with the Archer Constellation and ping it with that.
Man, it's not going to hurt it. Well,
Does it need to make a saving throw turns, or? Yeah, make a wisdom saving throw. What's your wisdom? It's not great.
18.
18's what it has to beat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's going to be hard for it.
Bonafide druid.
Oh, that's a 16. Oh, it does pass. It still moves away from you, but it does break free of your confusion, and you feel that happen. In retaliation on your
brains processing. Alright, I do need to do that before I rage, so I'll have to Rage next turn. So as a bonus action, I will change constellations from so I didn't describe the constellation earlier. So Gulbrand's constellation changes from the dragon to the archer. So like his body is literally lit up with stars. He looks like Orion, I don't know which one it is. Looks like the constellation. There's stars on his belt. Stars like the stars are in his shoulder joints, on his waist, on his knees. He literally lights up with this constellation around him. And I don't use a bow and arrow. I don't flavor it that way. He throws a javelin of starlight at this thing as he's fallen. Still, like, from Gulbrand's perspective, he's going to kill this thing or he's going to die like an Uthgar. He's loving this.
Yeah, roll to hit, my guy. You can make 2 of those since it's an attack action.
No.
Of course.
24 for 15
24
damage?
definitely hits. For 15, you've got it pretty fucking far on the rope, my guy.
Gulbrand's like cussing at it, trying to get it to chase him. Like,
yeah, you goad it successfully. You strike it in the face, not quite the eye, but in a tender enough spot to where you enrage this thing, and it extends its talons out and rushes. You're gonna have that's in that one. We'll get to that in a second. Its other attack. That definitely hits us 24, and you take 23 more points of damage. But as it tries to go in for the second attack, you grab back onto it. Its natural 1 is going to be flavored as you getting a grip on it. And so we go back to you.
A grip on it, you say? I guess
Same
I will
concept.
keep.
Use the axe, but
Yeah, I think I will keep. I realize I have like a cool little dagger here, but I just don't think it's worth it. It's okay. He's gonna keep going with the axe. He will bonus action rage this time. Like at this point, like grabs a hold of it, like reaches into his pouch, pulls out this like I've always envisioned it as a line of powder, but it's not crystalline. It's very much a plant. Lays like doesn't even like lay it across his hand like y'all have seen him do it before. He just takes some out, stubs it in his nose, and goes, and then all the veins run up through his head. I like to think you can even see him on the top of his head where he's bald. And he screams as he rages and does his, the thing that he does when he rages. He smacks things. A 14 and a 30. That's a 30, not a...
That misses. Don't you have advantage because you're raging? Isn't that a thing?
On the first one, if I declare reckless attack.
Okay. Oh, I'll allow you to.
I will do so.
This is the most reckless thing you've probably done in your life, and that's saying something.
I will do so. So the first one's a 30.
We'll take that 30.
The second, second one is a 19.
Nice.
Those get 4 total. Like there's a extra 4 damage for rage that gets applied there.
This thing is looking very rough. And what's more than that, it suddenly realizes that it is far too close to the ground. It has plummeted far more than it has wanted to in its efforts to keep up with you. It tries to like twist away and extend its wings, but you grab onto one wing and swinging your axe as the meteorite that it is, and swing down with all of the weight and gravity and momentum that you have and cleanly cleave one of the wings as you both plummet down.
I have a kind of flavor question. What is its strength?
Well, it doesn't matter, 'cause we're fading away from that.
Aw, man.
We rush away from the storm out, see these 2 figures plummeting the last bit to the high forest, and rush through to a game of sort. Davos, you are outside in the woods, unarmed, no weapon. You hear the creature approaching you. It's stalking you. It is very close to catching you. I need you to make a stealth check for me. Oh. Okay.
25.
25. Very nice. You hear the beast move towards you, and you perfectly sink around the tree. And it goes very well until a small acorn strikes you. And where it would have, it doesn't make a lot of noise because you're not wearing armor, but where it would have gone straight down, it ricochets out into the line of sight. And on a natural 20, the beast finds you, rounds the corner, and leaps at you, and it is Alyssa, your daughter! And she cries out in glee, "Found you!" And is just overjoyed that she has successfully tracked you down. Why don't you go ahead and take a second to describe Davos for us? If we can get some music.
He is just reeking Riz. Just so charismatic now instead of being the young, partying bard. It's more of like a dad Riz. Just a charming, good old dad.
Does he have the
Dark-
staff?
He does have the stash, maybe still a little goatee.
Speaking of beekeeping,
Your dad keeps me. That's so cute.
Dark brown hair, just shy of 6 foot. Freaking Kura. He yeah. Let's see. Hazel
how does he look
green
different
eyes.
How does he look different from the last time?
Maybe a few pounds heavier, but it hasn't slowed him down any. If anything, he's just as deadly and potentially scary. If it's possible to look somehow more holy, calmed down, less of that dangerous edge, like I said, kind of more dad-like.
Yeah, I imagine you slightly more stoic. Still, the cut up that you are, but you at rest, you're less of the cut up and more of the figure of import in most rooms that you're in. Your daughter tackles you. You raise her up in the air, and you hear Helena call from your home, saying that dinner is ready. You make your way into the home. You see Sirius, our beloved Feyhound, now old in his years as well. My personal headcanon is that Fey, since he's a Fey creature, he's never going to die, so never have to worry about that. But he is very much an older house dog now. He's much more relaxed. He's just chill. This big Saint Bernard looking motherfucker. Do you think? Yeah, exactly. Do you think he has the collar that can make him look like a mundane dog? Do you think you all keep him in that form most of the time, or do you think you keep him in the natural Fey form?
I would say discreet. Yeah, a more natural Saint Bernard form.
Yeah, which is probably good for sniffing out the
Still
70s.
big, still scary.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. This dog's pushing 200. Helena sits you guys down and gives you a wonderful meal: roast pork, roasted veggies. There's like a very sweet honey glaze that she's been slowly perfecting. Still doing her alchemy, of course, but now shifting a little bit more into the culinary arts. Something she used to despise as a young woman who thought that cooking was going to be her life, but now it is a labor of love.
Which explains why Davos has gained a few.
Yeah. She like sprinkles the honey on hers and Alyssa's very liberally, and then just kind of very lightly on yours. All of a sudden, there is a knock at the door, and Helena quickly opens it up, and you see a very familiar figure with a crimson bird perched upon his shoulder. This is our good friend Bergen Stonespire. He's a little older, his red hair now showing through with a little bit of gray, his face a little weathered from the stress of leadership, much as I imagine your own is, but still ineffably. Ember, on the other hand, looks to be in his prime, a brave and noble phoenix in full bloom, sizing up somewhere between a falcon and an eagle. And this is the oldest you guys have ever seen him. He's not had to give his life for anyone in many years. Alyssa is thrilled to see Uncle Bergen, and she smiles with glee and runs up and asks her to do her favorite trick. And with a twist of his wrist, Bergen makes a brief whirl of snow, a small remnant of the power that the Ring of Winter once bestowed him with. It's funny, Alyssa immediately is asking about, can I hold Ember? Can I hold him? And Bergen, like, very timidly, like, yes, but, just because he can come back doesn't mean you should be too rough with him. and lets Ember, begrudgingly almost, perch itself on the young four-year-old, is that right?
Yep.
On the 4-year-old's arm. Bergen approaches you. Do you say anything in particular as you greet one of your old friends?
Just good to see you again. We're just now eating dinner. Come join us, please. Tell us about the new girlfriend.
Helena eagerly
jokingly.
Helena eagerly starts making a plate for Bergen as well. Happy to have the company. A very familiar face within your home. Bergen chuckles off your joke and briefly considers, telling you that he's lost something very valuable. But on the other hand, he's after the pleasantries are exchanged, and he does admit, Davos, as I hate to say this. This is not pleasure. A little more formal, like to it. Helena, taking this cue, gathers Alyssa and moves her to a different room and allows you guys to talk in peace. Saying, perhaps Ember would enjoy seeing your dollhouse, and making their way out to a different room. Bergen, when the pair leave, Bergen does grow a little more somber. You guys worked together for years now, as the heads of your respective factions, working to not only stomp out the fiendish foes that have entered Faerun, also the ones that entered while the mounds were desecrated. It's been a very long process tracking these very insidious creatures down and eliminating them. He's also here to relay an unsettling discovery. The pair of you had sent out knights from both churches and sent to investigate a den of barbed devils, which are relatively minor fiends. Nothing that you're, the probably 8 or so men that you sent, wouldn't be able to handle. The den they were investigating is located within the Shriekwood, the now haunted forest that Gulbrand sort of accidentally created when he revitalized the land in the Battle of Succumber. And in doing so, in restoring the natural order, brought that sort of death, decay, and dark energy with it. While locals occasionally report strange disappearances or seeing specters or skeletons within the wood, this is the first time anything has gotten serious. The knights that were dispatched there were 8 from each, so there's actually 16 strong knights from each of the orders. They were led by Captain Phillips of the Helmtooths, who you guys have met, as well as Integrity, the yellow-skinned tiefling of the Order of the Aster. You guys sent 2 of your top men on this to ensure everything went smooth. And these troops were well-trained, they were well-armed, they were experienced at dispatching devils. They were far from green, proficient in both combat and healing magics, but they've not returned or checked in. And any attempts at communicating with them have failed. Bergen fears the worst, but he's unable to properly investigate this himself. He is 24 days into a month-long endeavor to cast the Forbiddance ritual, a ritual that needs to be done every day to take permanent effect. And the Shriekwood is rather large. Finding the expedition in one day is extremely unlikely. Furthermore, Bergen can't in good faith send normal soldiers for something like this. He doesn't want to send more men into trouble if it's something that normal men can't handle. They're not like, he says they're not like you and me. They're not champions. They're not blessed by the divines in the same caliber. I really hate to ask, but I want you to investigate. Find out what did this and cleanse the land of it. But I also don't want you to go alone. I know Gulbrand's not far, perhaps you could... And before he can even finish, there's this unmistakable roar of a dragon that echoes in your chest, which caused a little bit of a stir in the city of New Orlebar, or Nolba, as many of the locals have taken to call it. But nonetheless, it's not an unfamiliar sound either. As you guys pop your heads out of the door, you see the unmistakable silhouette of the Westwind Wyvern. The ship begins to descend, making its way, and soon flying down is Aarkunaux Tajin. And I imagine Pandora in maybe Ark's arms or something. Maybe jumping off 20 feet up to do some of her feline, dexterous agility. Before the 3 arrive. Ben, as you approach your old friend, or Ben Barbara too, what do you 2 say? As you see him and Bergen, actually. Prize bonus.
Oh, shit. I say Dawnbringer, Stonespire, and then I'd hug
And
both
give
of them
a
and
salute.
lift them up.
Yeah, there you go. You hear Bergen, his back cracks in a way. He's like, "Ugh, I've dislocated something," and he immediately lesser restorations himself to pop something back in the socket.
What brings you 2 here?
Wish it was a little pleasant.
I just kind of look at Bergen.
A lot of that news going around today.
I hate
About
to
the
follow his
Shriek
suit, but the Storm King called Tajin and myself to his court, and he found this tiny chest, and he kind of like tosses it to Davos as he's saying it for him to catch and look at. So it seems to have been left by that blue dragon who came the closest as any dragon has came to killing me. But I can't seem to get this open.
Canonical fact check. True story.
So I was hoping you could use that shiny thing that you guys used to scry on all those peoples to help us find Z.
Go rescue this
He's good.
blue dragon.
He's good with puzzles and whatnot.
That's the one who saved us from the giant, huh?
No,
Is
it's
that that
opposite, actually. The
Oh,
blue
wait.
dragon he's referring to is Imarith, the Doom of the Desert, the one who is impersonating the Storm Giant. Very much a baddie. So,
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and try and scry. And I kind of peek, make sure Alyssa's not around. Don't need to give her nightmares, you know?
no, absolutely. You can see her like burst from like her second story window to see the ship as it approaches, but Helena does draw her back in, and you can see while there was a little bit of tension on her face, not enough to where Alyssa can pick up on it, but while there's a little bit of tension when Bergen arrived, seeing Aarkunaux and Pandora and the Wyvern, she's noticeably a little more on edge.
The Avengers are assembling.
Yeah, essentially.
And I kind of give her a look like, yeah, it's kind of serious. Like, sorry.
I do have a quick question before we do this. Vikura, when I made this particular, when I was prepping this thing, you had an item that protected you from scrying. Is that still the case?
Yes, actually it is. I do still have that attuned to my person.
I think, excuse me, I think you would try initially, Davos, and not get anything, and then the sort of thought would occur to you. You know, you haven't had to scry, you haven't scry. Well, actually, does Davos just randomly scry on his friends, like peeking on what they're doing, or?
Yeah.
He's
Like,
trying to
maybe
get
once every
the
few
logistics of Pandora versus her sister worked out.
Nothing,
Are you?
nothing devious?
I'd say, is it more of a wellness check, or is it more of a? They left the webcam on. What they got going on over there?
Yeah, like a wellness check. I'm kind of bored. Nothing to do.
I gotta use it. It regenerates every day. Might as well, you know.
Yeah, what's on TV? Yeah.
I can only scry the bathhouse so often, you know. Like,
Maybe once a month-ish. I'll check in on one of them.
very nice. You're aware of this, so your first thought immediately goes, well, where there's V, there's Tabitha, and so you're gonna roll against Tabitha. Of course, this is a protected roll that she makes. If you'll check the scry spell, I think it's a wisdom check. I need to close my
It's a
door.
wisdom save. Does specify a save. Does specify save versus check.
Wisdom save.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. It's not super great for her. She didn't roll
And
too great.
I'm
12.
assuming I'm familiar with Tabitha. That would be a
Oh,
negative
absolutely. You guys have
5 to the
you've
modifier.
met her several times. You guys have probably even done a little bit of work together. Where you and Bergen work together frequently, I imagine there's been an occurrence or two where you would work with V and Tabitha. So you know her well.
To the roll.
Yeah, she gets to add, or no, she loses 5 to the roll because
To
he
the
knows her.
save modifier.
Yeah, so it would have been it was a total of 12. Now it's a total of 7. So very. If she knew it was you, she would drop it anyway. You never know when you're being scried on. So, you all gather around the crystal ball as it grows murky, dark, and swirls. And at first you think it hasn't worked, but you realize that the environment you're looking into, a little foreboding. As you guys view this, we zoom a few miles to the west to the Shriek. This most, not ancient place by any means. It's barely 7 years old, but it carries that weight, that same the trees that are here have only been here 7 years, but empowered with the magic as they were, they grew exponentially, and they have continued to do so. We approach Tabitha and Z in our viewpoint. Y'all do not see him in the ball, of course, but Vikura, do me a favor. Describe how Vikura looks and how he's changed through the year.
I would say he's gotten a little bit older. He's definitely let his hair and his beard go a bit. They're clean, but they're much longer than they were before. And now you can sort of see like that long flowing emerald jade hair that you would have seen on him before, just a lot longer. He's probably wearing some pretty plain looking clothing, a little bit darker, a little more in tune with earth colors, because he's sort of become more in tune with that part of himself as he's become this earth Ganassi. Otherwise, he's definitely looking a bit older, maybe a bit more tired.
What kind of equipment is he wearing? Anything noteworthy?
I would say that as far as his clothes go, they're pretty plain. He does still have that nice chain of the Drake, I think it was. We described that as having like more earthy tones, like with the vines and the floral bits. So he's still wearing that sort of plate on himself. Otherwise, I don't think you would notice anything particularly different or strange.
Alongside him is a very familiar figure, Tabitha. Long dark hair. She is a what's the word? Not Aarkunaux, Asimar. One or the other. So she is a semi-celestial being. She has probably not aged as much as you have over these last 7 years. But long dark hair in a braid. Still the flowers blooming across her shoulders. Where she once wore a more revealing sort of leather crop top-esque deal, she's gone into a little bit more mature. It's a little more billowy black blouse. Still the leather pants and boots. The silver khopesh at her side. And you two are making your way through the Shriekwood, as you've been investigating some disappearances. Locals from Secumber told you that, gave you a lead on this, and they believed it to be dark spirits. The forest is gloomy and dark and spooky, and honestly, Tabitha loved it. She's all for it. Oh! Let me check one thing real quick. I have a map for this, but I forgot if I was going to use it for you guys at the start, or if I was going to wait until late. Yeah, I have it set up for when they come out. No worries. So let me scoop Papa Doop back over here. You guys are making your way through this forest. Do you believe you have Kaya summoned, no, excuse me. Kaya was made whole once more by the Raven.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine she is very much beside you. She's no longer the spectral hellhound, but she is a beast of flesh and blood. She's going to be using the Direwolf stat block. I think I've already put onto your sheet. This does not remove your Hound of Ill Omen ability.
Which is my first question when I remembered that earlier.
No, yeah. Not going to mechanically take anything away, just flavor a little different. As you wander through this forest, you hear the trees just groaning the wind, the steady creak and whine that sort of sets your teeth on. Not so much because it is creepy and creepy is off-putting to you, more because it just masks what could be. It provides a sense of cover. The dark trees seem to be more spacious here, as their broad limbs greedily snatch every beam of light, starving out the smaller plants that now rot in the gloom. Come to an odd sort of clearing, where a sharp perimeter is formed by jagged stones and briar thicket, as well as several mushrooms that rise from rotting logs. See, clustered in the back of the clearing are several blackened logs that now lie in this odd heap, almost as if someone had laid 10-foot logs standing one against each other to form a cone, and then covered this with, and then burned it, and allowed that to be reclaimed by the moss and the leaves from above. And you see smoke faintly rising from the apex of this structure, though you don't see any light inside. At the base of the trunks, you see a mangled nest of roots that writhe out several feet from the pile. And through the tangle, you spot a series of narrow gaps, some just about a foot or two wide, that seem to lead to a hollow chamber within. The biting wind sort of shifts the trunk as you were in this space. What do you do?
I'm gonna go look.
Have a look. Do you want to do a perception look, or do you want to do like a climb on in look?
I'll probably try to take like a peek from the outside first, go a little slow, especially if it looks foreign or unnatural.
Hey, roll a perception check for me.
Yes, my strong suit. Oh. Well, if it'll ever come over, I rolled a nat 20. There you go.
Ooh.
Ah, there we go. What is that a total of, just out of curiosity? 20?
Just a 20.
But it's a nat 20, and that's all that matters. With the 20, you see the blackened, gnarled mess of trees at the rear of the understory begin to take shape, sort of as you gain perspective. And you realize that this is not a man-made structure, but the massive corpse of a treant. Its arms and legs raised to cover its head, as if it was trying to protect itself from whatever blackened bark. With your natural tool, you know that while this tree shows signs of rot, scorch marks, its branches also have buds on them that apparently never bloomed during spring, but have yet to fall away with the autumn. It is in this weird state of not quite living, not quite dead. How do you approach?
That's a good question. So I assume this is something that I've never really seen before in my adventures.
No, this is entirely unique. You've come across Trent, and you've seen, actually during the Battle of Bane, you saw Trents who had passed and deceased. This is unlike anything you've
With it being in the state that it's in, I guess I would question like if it's trapped in some sort of between life stasis or like what the deal is. I guess maybe I would check for any kind of magical effects or anything to start, and then just start checking out the corpse itself to see if I can determine anything else.
detect magic.
Mm-mm.
If don't, make a investigation check.
Okay. 13.
15. It's difficult to say. You sort of approach to get a closer look, and you can't quite make out too much before you hear a voice call out to you.
And yet, who's this? One who reeks of rot and ash as much as I myself do.
Some call me the Veil Walker. I go by many names. Who are you?
Well, I'll be damned. Here I thought myself in a rather unique purgatory. But you've got one foot in the grave yourself, ain't you?
This you can't see a face. You know that treants are not just trees. They have humanoid features. This thing isn't quite dead. It's not quite compost either. But it sort of shifts just a bit, and you see that the vines on its arms have sort of restricted it, and that its legs have rooted to this point. And it seems almost as if it's too weak to really move.
I guess I would question if I would have the ability to try and, like, is it rooted in an attempt to pass on, or is there the opportunity to try and free it a bit and see if you can help it recover?
You would gather, I'd say you've been around trance enough to where you've seen that they can root for nourishment, for sustenance. But the way it's moving, it seems like it's trying to break that, but it's not quite able. It can't see you so much as it can just sense and smell you.
this might be the wrong choice, but if I notice the vines on the roots and it looks like it's not strong enough to actually break that grip, that sort of self-restraint, I think I'm actually gonna pull out for the first time, maybe ever, the Obsidian Omniblade, and I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna sort of shape it
Please
into.
describe this, because this is something.
Oh yeah. So it's like a large chunk of obsidian that seems sort of like it's shiny and formless. It's black. But you notice that as I grab it, I sort of concentrate on it for a second, and the shape sort of like expands and flutters a little bit. First it spikes this way, then this way, before it eventually forms into a large obsidian scythe, is what I'm going to turn it into. And it.
Full scythe or like a sickle?
I'm thinking more like a sickle. It's not going to be like a two-handed thing. It's going to be more like the long post with the sickle-style blade on the end of it. But I don't want to be like a two-handed, long-posted scythe. You know what I'm saying?
I gotcha. You almost cautiously approach, and cut a smaller root first, and see that he's able to move a little more, and not sensing any type of resentment or pain. You clear away a few of the vines, a few of the roots. Very careful not to harm the structure of him itself, but you free it up enough where it is able to. Sorry, Davos, your hate is just very fun. To where it's finally able to shift, and what you see is a treant, but it's not quite at the same time. It is blackened on the exterior. It does not have the leaves quite as the image does. And you can see this large crack in its chest that was once covered by the arms, now laid bare. You see there is still a fire smoldering within this. Its eyes burning, not because they are like embers, but because they are, in fact, embers. And as it shuffles its form to get a better look at you.
Oh, but wait. I recognize you. Your face is not familiar to me, but the spirit that dwells within you. You fought in the Battle of Bane, against the Pyrahydra no less. I myself had come with Thora and Turlane from Shadowtop Cathedral, so that we might put an end to the inferno ravaging the forest. But try as I might, the flames got the best of me. But as I lay here, dying, being incinerated, a surge of revitalization swept through this place. This new energy made everything flourish. Where there had been death and decay, there were now sprouts that began to quickly climb and soar. But the nourishment that let them thrive did little for one of my nature. Maybe I was just too far gone, but the resurgence granted me enough to survive, but not enough to give me vitality, just enough sentience to be aware of my perpetual state of paralyzation, trapped in a twilight between life and death. I do thank you in granting me some simple creature comforts and the freeing of my movement. However, in the state that such I am in, there is little I can do to repay you. But where are my manners? You asked for a name, and it is the least I could do to provide it. Hawthorne of Shadowtop Cathedral. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Well, people that know me and know me well call me Zorok or Z. Excuse me, I forgot. I've changed now. Vikura or V. My memories are.
I think you actually say that. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
I mean, I totally could. I'd explain. My memories are still askew themselves sometimes. I'm not used to living a second life, so apologies.
Worry not, friend. Those of us who have witnessed the blurring of the lines between life and death often find ourselves difficult to recollect the memories of what lies beyond. But pray tell, friend, what brings you to such an accursed place as this?
I would sort of explain what we came here to do. I've heard rumblings, rumors of disappearances, abnormalities in these woods. I've come to investigate, as there are rumors that some dark may be at play. And as it happens, part of my responsibility is to, well, help those things either pass on or go away.
I know not what causes the screams of the trees. Some great place of pain to the north echoes with it near damn every night. But while I appreciate the creature comforts you have, I'm unable to do pretty much damn near anything. You say you ease the spirits, though it pains me to say so, and Sylvanus might curse me for it. My existence is agony. I will not burden you with the responsibility of execution, but ending my suffering would be a great boon to me.
I was just about to offer.
I was going to make you make a persuasion check, but I feel like you've navigated this very well. I'll tell you what, I'm going to roll for him. Roll a d10, and I'm going to subtract it from his roll. Oh, and he rolled it. Is that an 8? Also rolled an 8. Okay, interesting. Any existence, even if it not be with my creator, would be better than this. Describe to me how you draw in spirit.
I think honestly, for him, I think it would just be a form of gentleness. I don't even think I would necessarily launch an attack. I think I would walk up to him sort of at the base. I would probably use like mold earth or something to raise my height so I'm at least closer to eye level. And just sort of try to put a hand like in the near the open wound where that smoldering fire is continuing to burn to see if I could almost pull that out and extinguish it along with pulling his spirit out to cleanse him of whatever terrible thing has happened here.
It is a beautiful thing. As you walk toward him, the earth rising to meet your steps. You in this earthen form that you are in. Also, a creature of earth and nature on the outside, but with a fire within. You place your hand upon the bark, and it is hot. Even after 7 long years, this thing has been burning and regenerating, being eaten away from the inside. This flame is a cancer within it. And as you just, with the other hand, just gently twirl your fingers, there's a slight rush of air that briefly raises the flame before they begin to push out of this crack, push out of his eyes. And for the first time in nearly a decade, those embers are extinguished. And you feel, as the flames wash over you, not something you would shirk from, you feel that weight as a new spirit is embedded into you. Z, for the purposes of this, you're going to gain a plant-based spell. I'll have to look at my notes to find which one. But you're also going to gain mastery over the plant element, to where if you were to use Ice Knife, for example, in order to make it Thorn Knife, or any variation of any of your spells, you gain that capacity to. As you slowly lower yourself back down, this figure, no longer with the tiny spark of life it had, just hunches in on itself. And then almost immediately the wood begins to gray and lose color. And while it is a moment of passing, of death, there is a tranquility now within this glade, where once there was gloom. And it almost startles you as Tabitha places her hand on your shoulder. And she says, I've seen you do it 100 times, but you never cease to amaze me. Said there was something up north. We should check it out. To make your way through the trees.
I agree.
As you make your way up there, it is not difficult to find the source of this. You cover an alien landscape. You walk across a swamp that, instead of murky water, bogged, it is blood. This natural valley within the forest where all these things died so long ago, their blood has pooled here in a way that it has altered the landscape. And as you carefully make your way across it, you can't help but notice the movement beneath the dark waters, blood itself. You continue on, climbing a sharp ridge, until you see what was once a stone courtyard, but now less defined. And before we do this, we're actually going to take a break. We should be back in about 10 minutes. Thank you very much for being here so far. And see you soon, family.
You seen that, Bergen? Ark? This son of a bitch is soul safe in the trees now.
Welcome back. Vikura and Tabitha, as you approach this courtyard, you see a figure I can only describe as malignant. This pale figure, tattered robes, standing some 10 feet off the ground, and in front of them a blood-red circle that is glowing slightly. This thing hisses these words that you can't quite make out. And while its arms are humanoid, you realize that its head appears somewhat serpentine, somewhat draconic, almost like the hood of a cobra. And as it says these words, the blood on the ground shines brightly. And without even acknowledging you, this quasi-serpentine figure begins to rise up and away. Do you do anything to stop it or to intervene?
I mean, it doesn't look friendly. My gut tells me that whatever is happening isn't good. I'm tempted to just hurl a spell at it. Or no, actually, I'm gonna shout first before I just hurl a spell blindly. I'll look at the figure for a second and I'll say, "Who are you, and what are you doing to these woods?"
The figure shifts around, and its eyes bloodshot and red. Its mouth truly more like a white dragon, but it is not dragonborn. Its hands are flesh, and its lips, or lack thereof, curl back into a grin as these white fangs are exposed. You shall find out soon. And it's at this point that this blood-red rune, shining brighter and brighter, has a hand reach through. A large, red, muscular arm pulls into frame a demonic-looking figure, a fiendish figure, as a pit fiend emerges from this. and the white serpentine figure, seeming to think you no match for this, glides away. What you see in the distance is a stark white tower, some mile away, I would say. With that, I need you and Tabitha to roll initiative.
Who you know he did.
Yes.
Woo! 15. No, where's my sticky note? I need. Oh, Devin, if you'll swap us some battle music.
Oh God!
You have responsibilities!
Courtesy Brandon.
Oh, yeah, there we go. This is a solid track, honestly. I've been listening to this shit while prepping. Fantastic. Josh, what was your roll?
14.
What was Tabby's and Pitby? Oh, y'all can't see.
Should I roll initiative for Kaya?
She'll move on your initiative.
It's like I don't.
That's a big 14 for Tabitha, so you guys move at the same time.
As we should.
And that is an 8 for the pit bean. So, this thing is still rising.
Do what?
Oh, what?
I said
Was it
do
it?
what?
You what? I am going to drop a picture of this in chat at least, even if it's not. What do you mean my files are too powerful? Screenshot everything, folks. That's just easier. My advice. And DMing in the 21st century. This figure, massive. I mean, this thing probably stands at a good, I'd say probably 10 to 12 feet. Horns that rise up behind it, large scaled wings that reach out, these blackened talons on its hands and fingers, and this massive mace within its hand. As it's rising out, you realize you have a moment of opportunity before this thing is going to be fully emerged. What do you do?
Well, with my new tree powers, I'm gonna cast. The first thing I'm gonna do is probably cast Realms Binding Ice, but I want to make it like a bramble of thorny vines that come out of the ground and like grasp at its legs and its torso to try to hold it in place.
Drop that in chat for me so I have a visual, or excuse me, I can read it. But I'm pretty sure that makes his movement speed 0. Is that correct? If he fails to save.
Yeah. It essentially has to use its action to break out, or its movement speed is 0.
It's going to be a Constitution saving throw. His con's pretty stacked. What we got there? A 21, I imagine, beats your save.
It does indeed.
Of 18. Yes, it does. These thorns come splintering through, and you notice as you're channeling this this plant-based energy that they're blackened with that same kind of sheen that hawthorn is, and these they almost have a little bit of a red tint, as if they're still hot. But as they rush up to him, he is going to take that damage. What damage are you thinking? Poison, bludgeoning, piercing? What feels
I really like the idea of poison.
thematically? Okay. He does not. Oh, he is immune to poison. However, I will say that for this instance, it does piercing. But you know that just from the inherent nature of the how the thorns react. He is going to take that damage though. And almost this, like your chest rattles as this thing like laughs at you and chuckles. Tabitha, seeing this thing, is quite fiendish. She's gonna go in. She's probably gonna go for let's do a 6th level. I think we're gonna do a psychic lance. She doesn't have guiding bolt. That's interesting. Yeah, I think she's gonna go for that. He's an intelligence save, which this guy is also semi-stacked in. This is a tough motherfucker. Oh, what's her thing now? This thing rolled a 19. Tabitha at level 13, mind you. She's a little lesser than you guys. She hasn't been adventuring quite as long. Her DC is a 20. So she's gonna get this fucking psychic lance off on this motherfucker. Not 7th level, 6th level. Yeah. And this is also gonna make him incapacitated.
Doesn't that incapacitate him?
Turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all still can't see. I need to fix that setting to where you guys can see as well. He takes 31 points of psychic damage, which I'm sure he doesn't have. Yeah. 31 points. And winces and like places this heavy claw on his head. As we round back to you, he can't do a damn thing.
In a night of doing things I've never done before, I'm first going to use my bonus action to cast Tasha's Otherworldly Guise.
Ooh, okay.
And when I do this, what happens? I'm going to choose the lower plane, which makes me immune to fire and poison damage, among other things. And as I cast this, these dark, sort of shadowy tendrils start to spin out from my back, and then these giant wings erupt from the back of my shoulder blades, like inky, shadowy wings, as I now have a fly speed of 40 feet.
I need fan art yesterday. That is beautiful. Okay,
I need
excellent.
hand sign for clippable moment.
Yeah.
And then
stealing third.
In the same moment I do this, I'm going to pull the obsidian back out, and I'm going to fashion it into, I guess, a short sword.
Very nice.
Because
you can use, if you haven't used it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, with this, I also get to use my spellcasting ability modifier when I attack, and I get to attack twice on a turn with martial weapons as a result. So
and this is a bonus action! Oh, shit! Okay.
I'm going to go, like, full ham. I'm like, screw this guy. He made me look stupid, and I'm just going to go try slashing at him.
Yeah, get him, dude. Make your swings.
Spell attack modifiers, I don't know how to do this, because it's a plus 12. Like, no. Yes.
Yeah.
Do I just hit this? Oh, I guess I do.
Yeah, just like it would cast a spell attack. 30. Yeah, that hits.
Okay. God, now I gotta figure out. I haven't with martial classes as a spellcaster is kind of tough, so I have to figure out what do I add as my modifier to this attack.
You use your spellcasting modifier.
No, I mean like for the extra damage. Sorry. It looks like I get +2 on the weapon itself. So that's what I'm gonna say. Damage is listed as 1d8 +2. Does that sound right to you? 1d6 is short sword,
1d8.
right?
Yeah, so 1d8. Are you using it with both hands?
I mean,
Then
yeah,
you get
I'm not gonna.
Oh, short sword. I'm sorry.
Short swords don't have.
So 1d6 +2, and then plus your spellcasting modifier,
Which is a +5. So I'll roll this. 2 + 2 is 4 + 5 is 9.
9. Excellent. And you get one more swing.
Okay. You'd think I'd be more prepared for this, considering that I've been waiting to try and use something like this for a long time.
You're fine, huh? We're also a little out of practice in finding shit, so I get it. Another 30! Okay!
Nice! Okay. Seeing Hannah. So 3, 4, 5. So 10 more points of damage.
Nice. Excellent. You and Tabitha are just laying into this thing. And I think it's her turn now, because she Psychic Lanced it last turn. It was incapacitated. Yeah, we just go right back full circle. Do you have anything else for your turn?
No, that's it.
Okay. I know this is theater of the mind. If you want to narrate, like I raise higher or whatever.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
is
say,
also a winged entity.
I would fly. Obviously, I flew at it with my wings. I slashed a couple of times, and then I would sort of like withdraw a bit with any movement speed I have left to try and get away from it a bit.
Tabitha will call out, I can send it back to hell, but we're going to have to whittle it down a little more first. And she's going to go in with, I think she's going to pop a Spirit Guardian. It's going to be a Wisdom save, ugly fucker. Technically this happens on his turn, but it's about to be his turn anyway. That is a 20 for him, which meets it, beats it. He's going to take half damage when this pops up. Is he vulnerable to radiant? He is not. So he's going to take half of whatever this number is. Take half of bada bing, bada boom. Why didn't it do it? Oh, it starts to roll the animation. That's dumb. So he's going to take a total of 16 points. Roll to 32. Fantastic. You and Tabitha are moving in perfect sync. You know, you guys have been fighting together for several years now. You also get a free attack with Kaya because she's just a creature. Like, she can make an attack. If she has multi-attack, it's only going to be one, just due to, balancing purposes.
She doesn't. That's fine. It doesn't look like anyway.
She probably has advantage because she's pack tactics, though.
She does have pack tactics.
Roll that fight one more time then, because a 17 does not hit. A 24 will. 14. This is piercing from a non-magical source. But he's only going to take half that. He's going to take 7. Fantastic. I'm going to roll the strength check as a formality, but he has strength save. Excuse me. His pretty effective attack.
It would be crazy if he failed.
Yeah. No, yeah, right. She gets fucking beat up by a dog. That's a 32. So he definitely has. It is now his turn. He is furious. You guys have gotten the fucking best of him in his opening bit. He's going to start off strong. He doesn't know that you're immune to fire damage. He's going to pop a fireball. He's going to pop that at the 5th level. Excuse me, 5th. I need... Not you. Are you immune to it or are you resistant to it?
I am immune to it.
Immune, nice. So Tabitha, and I need you to roll one for Kaya. A charisma... Excuse me. A dexterity save.
Dex save, right, yeah. Ooh.
Nat 20 for her. And... so stupid. Never do dice animation. My other DM tip of the day. Fantastic. He's gonna do this. Oh, come on. And that's a total of 25. 31. Total of 31 points of damage. That's going to be halved to Kaya, but Tabitha is going to take that whole thing, whole 31. That puts her at about 2/3 of her health. So a pretty solid hit against her. He sees the flames wash over you, your otherworldly wings, your eyes, I imagine, glowing red with the embers, almost like a hawthorn was. And he sort of cocks his head, surprised at these mortals who would stand before him in defiance. He is going to take a bonus action attack. Back up one thing. I think he's going to use a claw attack. He's going to take a step toward you or fly toward you if he has to. It's a plus 14 to hit. So wouldn't it be some shit if he missed? So you're looking at a 29 to hit and 19 damage.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
I assume a 29 hits. And if we round back to you, my guy.
Cool.
Oh, that's magic.
Okay.
What do you do, my dog?
Why is so much stuff so hard? You know what? I want to make this. I want to make this appearance of mine even cooler. So I'm going to, at 8th level, cast Crown of Stars.
Oh yeah. Edward.
I don't know why that. Well,
You take that back.
I guess it also rolled to attack for the first one. But anyway, not only do I have spectral shadow wings, but also a moat of glowing orbs now radiate around my head like a crown that I can shoot out
points of radiant damage.
as a bonus action on my turn, which I guess I just did. So yes, 19 points of radiant damage.
Action.
So the action was actually casting the spell, and then the bonus action, I think, was the usage of it. Yeah, which I didn't mean to roll,
like,
but I was going to let it roll too.
I gotcha. It's not like Minute Meteors where it sends 2 out when you cast it, and then it's a bonus action from that point on.
You can use a bonus action to send one of the most stricken towards a creature within 20 feet. You so make a ranged spell attack on hit. No, it doesn't actually say that is how it works, and I was going to use one anyway because I didn't feel like swiping at it again, so that's totally fine. I'm going to let that ride what just happened.
Okay, she's going to Tabitha coming up. Oh, roll for Kaya as well. While you're doing that, Tabitha is going to cast Synaptic Static at 5th level.
That's my girl.
Teeny's making an intelligence saving throw. Yeah, using a spell you might have taught her.
Oh dang, Kaya crit.
There we go. He rolled an 18, which does not beat her 20. So he's going to take that 23. 1 second. And then he's going to take half of Kaya's damage. So 18 halves to 9. Excellent. Synaptic Static, I need to refresh myself on real quick. After failed save, the target has muddled thoughts for 1 minute. Rolls a d6, subtracts that number from its attacks and ability checks as well as constitution or concentration checks. Makes an intelligence check at the end of each of its turns. Help me keep up with that, if you do not mind.
Yeah.
As we round back to this thing, it is furious, and it swings out at the mace, and I think it's going to try to hit you since you're resistant to its fire stuff. That's going to be only a 16. It rolled a 2. I assume that does not hit.
That does not hit.
Its tail lashes out to follow a 29 for 26 points of bludgeoning damage.
That do
It rakes its claw over to Tabitha. It only rolled a 15, which I do not believe hits her. She has an AC of 16 less. And then it follows up with one final bite. I think also at Tabitha. It's not too worried about the boots right now. Oh, and it does a good bit of damage. 24. It does 26 piercing and 17 poison. However, she isn't. I thought she's resistant to necrotic and radiant, but not to poison. She's going to take the full brunt of that, which is, oh my god, 43? Yeah, 43.
That was at Kaya?
Tabitha.
Or Tabitha?
No, at Tabitha.
Okay.
Tabitha is at 19 out of 96 hit points. So
Okay.
you see that she's pretty hurt. You know she has healing magic, but you clock that. She also, while poisoned this way, she has to make a con save. Cool, I've got spicy armpits. I'm going to kill my own character in episode 1.
Don't do it. I'll kill you.
I was literally typing in chat about that, about to make fun of you.
So, DC 15, while poisoned this way, she cannot regain hit points. And is going to take additional damage at the start of her turns. Woo! Okay, with that, that's his flurry of blows. We go to you and Kaya. And while you're doing that, I'm going to look something up on Tabitha real quick.
Did she fail her save?
Yes.
Oh.
She cannot regain hit points.
Jesus. I'm gonna turn to her before I attack, and I'm gonna say hide or run, go. And then as a bonus action, I'm gonna go ahead and sling another mote. That's damage, but where's the hit? Oh, I think I gotta roll it. I'm just gonna roll a spell to hit. So 24 hit.
24 does hit, yes sir.
Okay, that's 34 points of radiant damage.
34 points of radiant damage.
Yes.
That's pretty good, okay? My character dying and I'm like panicking on both sides, okay? She's got to go though. Fantastic. Hi.
That's my bonus action. With my action, I'm gonna swing at him with my sword a couple more times.
Get him, yeah, get him.
So 29 hit. I'm just gonna go ahead and roll both.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Hit him with the chair.
The chair, get the chair.
So 23 hit.
It does, yeah.
Cool. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points of damage. And 9 more points of damage.
11 and 9. So this is for you, so this is full damage. That's 20 damage total. Puts him at 112. I shouldn't have said that out loud. Sorry, continue. Kaya, if you have not already.
Yeah, that's all I can do with me. Now I'm gonna have Kaya attack. I'll roll again. Neither one of those hit.
Yeah, you're good. As we round to Tabitha.
Still at 112.
As we round to Tabitha, you see that. Oh, I'm sorry. Technically, at the end of her last turn, she should have got to make a save against. Let me double check. Poison target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending it on a miss. It's a Constitution save. She only has a +2 to Constitution. This is a DC 21. So she needs to roll a 19 or a 20, a 10% chance. And all things being honest, and me not wanting to show favoritism against my own character, I'm going to roll this in chat. So Tabitha needs a 19 to survive.
Can I ask a question really quick?
Yes, sir.
I have inspiration. Is there any way I could try to transfer it to her? a loving speech.
Just regular inspiration.
on my
Bonus
sheet.
action kiss.
You know, you guys are partners.
The power of love.
I will allow her to make this check with advantage.
Blow her a kiss.
I don't think she gets normal. There
I
you
was
go.
inspired.
Oh,
when
I'm-
you killed that
I'm
tree.
I'm sorry. She does actually get a +1 to all save, so she needs to roll a 17, 18, 19, or 20 with advantage. I'm gonna roll both of these in front of the board. A 12 and a 7.
Should I
you
get
watch.
any modifiers?
With her, she had to roll 18, 19, 20 to pass. Like those three, she only gets a +2 to or +3 to the roll. You watch as this wound on Tabitha's arm that as he bit into her, this black pulse goes through her, and her arm begins to rot as Tabitha falls. It is his turn, and he is not relenting. He is going to go at you with a mace attack. A natural 20. I assume with 34 hits. Just gonna make that
I
assumption.
mean, yeah, I could even shield that if I wanted.
I need you to make a Constitution save. That'll determine
Boo. Yes.
poison damage. This is the thing that killed your girl, and he's coming at you with it. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know. Oh. So, hang
26. You pass.
No, I think that's right. Sorry, I have a new feat, and I don't know if it was supposed to roll both those or not. Because technically I'm concentrating on also keeping a spell active, so it rolled 2.
Do you have concentration with advantage? Or Constitution saves with advantage?
It's concentration, but it's stupid. I probably should have just said no on that.
Roll one more Constitution save.
Con, and I'm just going to say no. Well, that's a 12.
What, your Constitution is on the stars?
No, it's... so, I have Warcaster, full transparency. I took it as a feat when we leveled up.
But what was what are you concentrating on?
I'm concentrating on the otherworldly guys, like my wings and stuff. That's what I'm concentrating on.
I will allow you to use this 26 on the poison instead of the guys if you so choose.
I think I
will
have
remind
to.
you that this... I'm about to say this was a critical hit, so it which technically I don't think the crit should translate to that. Well, no, on a hit, oh yeah, it would. Fucked for one, Wizards of the Coast. So first, I need you to take 17 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Bludgeoning damage. He's gonna follow up with a claw on Kaya. He rolls a natural 1, but it's a 15. Does that still hit Kaya?
15 does still hit Kaya.
Okay, she's gonna take 16 damage.
I think
And-
that puts her down.
Does that put her down?
I think so. She took damage earlier.
17.
I didn't keep up with that. That's my bad. But I'm pretty confident that puts her down.
You're good. What's her total hit point?
It's 37.
This was 27. He probably did do at least 10 damage with the other one, so we're gonna say yeah. Does a 17 hit you?
17 does not hit me.
Woo! Okay, and his last attack. So 15. Perfect. He misses with his mace and his tail. He has got Kaya with the claws and essentially like crushed her, and got you with the bite. It is now your turn. This thing is still looking pretty rough. Tabitha, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Devin, going down, she would lose the poison condition. Is that true?
Oh, dude, we had like 2 whole days of Googling about this. Yes? This was for like buffs and stuff too? Yes.
We will allow...
No. When you go down, no. When you die, yes.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I'll double check that. You keep going.
We are going to shift. As this is happening, Tabitha is down. This poison wreaking havoc upon her system. You see that she is fading. I will allow, because at this moment she would take the damage, she would get 2 death failures. She gets 1 chance to roll a positive Constitution check to survive. Your turn is technically right before her. If there is anything you can do to ease that in some way, she cannot regain hit points. If you can bestow temporary hit points in some way, that is one thing. But she cannot regain natural hit points.
No, I checked.
Starting this fucking season off hot. Goddamn, I'm sweating.
All I can do, I mean, I can do like regular healing, but I don't have anything that actually gives temporary hit points I can give to anybody else as far as I know.
Okay. Unless you have, it's your turn, you can do with it as you wish. Kaya is down, Tabitha is down. This thing is pretty injured. I won't give an exact number. Again.
I wish I had...
Gotta knock the rust off.
God, I need to find the stat blocks for my elementals that I can conjure, because I'm curious if...
They're all in your extras tab, my dog.
Extras, huh?
If you go to like your features and traits tab, the extras, they're all listed there. Florence might be able to give some healing. I will assist you because it's been a minute since we've had any of these.
I know.
It's not features and traits, it's just your extras in general.
I see. Gotcha. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was Florence or somebody else who could...
The change in music is very somber, Devin.
Requested by chat.
Death, my friend. Was it really?
I don't see anything that she can do.
Joe talking to himself or us?
In general.
I was supposed to say we couldn't hear you if you were talking to us.
Oh, sorry. I'm more just musing aloud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to fudge it for her. You know, if she goes down, she goes down. I don't see anything on your companions that can assist.
I don't either. And
although, this entity was going to come anyway. Josh, do me a favor. Roll a d20. And you're looking for a 17 or higher.
2.
No dice, no reinforcements in the final hour. What do you do with your turn? You get the sense that things are critical.
I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna check one more thing really quick.
Yeah, please. You do also have some spells from your spirits that have passed on.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna ask you if it probably won't work. So I picked up that ice rune earlier, right?
Yeah.
It does have something in it called Icy Mantle. As an action, I could touch myself or another creature with water on my finger. The water creates an icy mantle of protection. The next time, well, it really just protects them from damage. It doesn't protect them from...
The damage is what's going to give her 2 death fails.
Okay.
That is any consolation.
I'm gonna ask you to
me
use...
says that this is cryosleep.
I'm gonna ask you to use DM Fiat to allow me to use my entire action to use Icy Mantle on her to prevent those 2 death fails. Essentially, block damage for 1 turn.
Your entire action. What's the cast of the spell or the thing?
It literally just says you use your action. Like as an action, you can cast it on yourself or another creature.
The only thing is you're buying just a little bit of time. But I get that is where Vikura's priorities are. Yes, I will. We drop it in chat. What's the gist of it? Just prevents damage, or so many points of damage, or? Yeah,
I mean, essentially, the next time within a minute, if they take it's specific damage types. It's physical damage that would have reduced. The damage is reduced to 0, and the mantle's destroyed. Which is tough. Technically, it's supposed to be physical damage versus poison, which is happening here.
But I do like Devin's contribution of cryosleep. I do think you are trying to like chill the blood in her system to stop the spread of the poison.
Wait a second.
Not dramatically.
I want to change this. I need to see what my AC was going to drop to, but the chain of the Fey Drake makes me immune to poison damage. Can I put it on her?
Technically, she would have to attune to it, and I'm not going to try to cut corners. save her. I think that your cryosleep idea is perhaps the best you have now. Part of me is also like, he has animate dead, but that's not really an
I know. I don't want to
optimistic
use that. That's terrible.
No, yeah.
That's fucked up.
That's so funny. Oh my god. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Okay, whatever. I'll use my action to try and use that to at least buy us a turn, like a round. I don't know what it's going to do for us, but it at least gives me more time to think.
Absolutely. You do still have your bonus action to do with whatever you can. That is going to stop her from taking this. She is still going to have to roll a con save. But your con isn't bad. No, I keep hitting yes for Constitution check. Ooh, and that was double sixes, so I'm glad I did. It just says cancel, it doesn't say. She got an 11. She beat it by 1. I cannot express to you how fucking close we are cutting it. She does not have any failed death save. So, as you touch her with this rune and you watch as her, like, she's seizing up, the black running through her veins. One of her eyes grows solid dark, and she is convulsing. You take this rune and you place it upon her chest, and you watch as this chill spreads through her, and the visible black lines pulsing through her veins that you can see slows to a noticeable degree, but not for long. I need you. Technically, this thing's going to get a turn beforehand.
Well, I have a bonus action. I'm gonna lob a moat at him while I'm doing this, just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah. What's your damage and shit on that?
Well, I rolled a 14, so it doesn't matter.
That's not.
I was so focused on saving her, I couldn't focus
Roll
on...
another d20. This time you have to be a 16.
Okie
Got
doke.
a 40% chance.
Please. I rolled a 1.
Oh, this thing laughs in your pain. And you know what? This is a cruel motherfucker. He is relishing this moment. He's going to cast Hold Person on you. I need you to make a wisdom save. Steep wisdom save.
I'm gonna reaction counterspell.
Oh, very nice. He wastes his turn. That's a full action to cast that. He has no bonus actions that are viable at this point.
That was ball.
Yeah, that was very baller. Mark off your spell slot for that. It's your turn again.
I did mark it off, and I want to set the scene for this a little bit. Like, I am literally like trying to shield her with my spectral wings, like putting an ice mantle on her. I'll lob a moat because I'm distracted. It fails, and then this dude tries to cast a spell on me, and I just wave my hand. I don't even look at him. I just wave my hand.
I will do you the gentlemanly courtesy that Tabitha does technically. It's at the end of her turn, gets to roll to try to dispel the poison, try to shake it off. Golf claps. I am debating on letting her doing it with advantage because of the ice rune. Wheeler, whoa, we haven't done that in a minute. Odd or even, my guy.
I hate you so much. Even
The
or
fate
odd,
of your
odd,
woman is
odd.
odd. Oh,
Oh no.
okay, so she's gonna get advantage on this Constitution check. Constitution's not great, and she has to beat. No, it's not a concentration check.
Please.
Oh, she rolled a 19 on the first one for a total of 21, which meets his save of 21. Hot fucking damn. Tabitha, you watch as her convulsions cause her to just, or the ice slowing the poison causes her convulsions to slow, and you see as it starts to almost fade. It's still like it's a sickly gray now instead of this black inky things running through her veins. As she has been cured from the poison, she can now be healed. I think since he wasted his turn, you counterspelled it. It is your turn.
Well, you know I don't know if I have any healing potions on me, but I am gonna bonus action.
Canonically, you do have one greater and 2 standard.
Is that an action to give her?
It's an action to give someone a potion. This is a weird position to be in, where I'm trying to be a hard ass with you saving my character.
Now, you know what?
Emotional turmoil!
I still have something I could do with my bonus action, so I am going to use an action to give her a greater healing potion.
Fantastic. I think that's 4d4 plus 4, if I'm not mistaken. Do you want to roll that, or do you want me to?
I can roll up for you. Well, I don't know. You might roll better than I do. 10, 14.
14. Honestly, from where she was, that's pretty great. Higher than 0, and that's what really matters.
I got 3 threes. That's not bad.
Any more than 0 is enough.
This chill within her, this blue chest, her lips even tinting blue a bit, this black-gray venom within her, wreaking havoc on her system, still shaking slightly. You pour this into her mouth, and like part of it spills out as she is still shaking raucously. And then, as if Narcan, she and pushes herself up a bit. I know, not an eloquent metaphor, Brandon, but it's what we got. You still have a bonus action. Take it now.
I look at her and say, "You need to go now." And then I'm gonna try and hit him with another moat.
Get him.
So 26 hit.
26 does hit.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, now it's sad music. What's the damage on that, my guy?
It's 29 radiant damage.
29? That's very solid. Shit. That's going to be... I need to check a spell she's got. Oh, my God, I'm so spicy.
That's so spicy.
I took this spell specifically for... Yes, okay. It is possible. It is not a guarantee. You watch as Tabitha coming to... oh, and bonus action. I'm sorry. No, this is the bonus action. You watch, you tell her to go, and she pushes herself up. And as she looks up, her eyes are solid white, as she is going into her ASMR, embracing her angelic form. One large black spectral wing hangs off one side, and her khopesh begins to glow a bright, bright white. Oh my God, she needs to hit it with a spell attack. With a weapon attack. Harder for her. Someone who designed this character, that's not easy. Oh, she has a plus 12. I take that back. Pardon me. She finesse. That's why she has it. So we're gonna roll this to hit. A 19? A 19 meets his armor class. Oh my fucking God! I'm gonna die today. I can feel it in my bones. So he is going to take the 1d8 plus 5. She rolled a 1 on the die. Did a total of 6 damage. But because she is using a banishing smite, she adds 5d10 to this hit. I repeat, 5d10. This can deal up to 50 damage. It needs to deal at least 31 for her plan to take full effect. Otherwise, this thing is going to get 4 attacks on the 2 of you, with the chance to poison one of you. Okay, 5d10 damage. Oh, I see a 1. 32 points. I'm screenshotting this because goddamn, she needed 31. She got 32 points of damage. Her khopesh glows this brilliant, brilliant white as she lashes out at this creature, catching it really in the abdomen, the curve of the blade going, working around him and then pulling it through. He begins to bleed. Still, this thing is at 49 hit points. But my friends, that is the beautiful thing about Banishing Smite. Additionally, if the attack reduces the target to 50 hit points or fewer, you banish it. Normally it would have a chance to come back, however, it is from a different plane of existence. And as she pulls this through, you watch as, almost as it's imploding, the blood seeps out, and she contorts and the entity contorts and twists in a manner until it is compressed no more than the size of a fist and blips out of existence. And Tabitha, exhausted, collapses. We are going to cut away from there.
Damn, girl.
That was hot.
Oh, what an episode back. Oh my God. The emotional turmoil I have gone through these last 5 minutes. Okay.
You know, when you said there was a high chance of player death, I didn't think you meant the first session.
I didn't think I meant my character either, motherfucker. You know, this is...
Oh my God. That was I'm stressed.
Same. My heart rate. I'm on blood pressure medicine. I think I need to take an extra pill tonight. God damn.
I would
I'll
like to
player
deeply.
death music for the next week.
Yeah, you do. Deeply apologize to Chad. It took me so long to find the Tabitha art.
Oh, thank you, my guy. Yeah. I can't wait to read that conversation. But fantastic. I'm sorry. I need to reconfigure my brain just a second. Vikura, as this thing blips out of existence, you see this distant figure, this white shrouded figure that had begun to fly away, turn with a look of pure malice. I need to check something.
I think you've checked enough.
What's the range on this?
0.
17 football fields.
That's what it says, actually. This thing sees this happen, sees you take out what it had rather painstakingly brought into this world. And it surges forward, dashing forward for evaluating you. Do you do anything in this instant?
Run.
Tabitha, in this instant, is going to pop a heal. She doesn't have it. She used her 7th and her 6th, and both of her 5th. She's going to cast a 4th level. Did she use all of her 4ths? No way. Oh, she still had things marked off from.
I think
She's going to use.
at this moment.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I've watched Tabitha almost die to something that he brought forth. I've watched Kaya. Is she? She might be dead. I don't know. I know her body's laying there.
We'll roll some death saves in a second.
And
I'll roll 2 right now. That's a 12. Whatever her modifier is, it's positive. That's an 8. Does she have a +2 or more?
let's see.
Direwolf.
Con is a +2.
She's passed both of her saves.
Cool. I'm gonna cast a 7th level firestorm, like in the general vicinity of whatever this thing is. I'm not playing around anymore. It summoned something.
7th level?
Yes.
He's going to cast an 8th level counterspell.
You ho.
Turnabout's fair play, my friend. And
He
as
just
he
waves his hand.
yeah, very dismissive.
That's my
Tabitha
move.
is going to Tabitha is going to use a cure wounds on herself. She's going to pump her. What state are you in? Are you beyond bloodied?
I don't know what that means, but I'm below half.
Bloodied is below half. In that case, she's going to pump into you a cure wounds. Regain 23 hit points.
Gotta think about what you say, man.
Tabitha surges this energy into you, and you see that she is more worse for wear. She is at 14, but with every fiber of her being, just as you wanted her to survive, she wants you to survive. And the entity sees that. He sees this display of affection, this display of love, and sneers at it. I need you. Oh, it's not even a save. That's right. He utters this word in Draconic, and you speak Draconic, and more importantly, you speak this ancient dialect of Draconic, as he commands but one thing: die. And you do, as he casts Power Word Kill. We're going to cut away from there. We're going to fade back to Davos and Bergen, and Pandora, Tajin, and Aarkunaux, as they are staring into the orb, watching this happen in real time, hapless to do anything to stop it. As the crystal ball's 10 minutes cease and fades back to its crystal clear state. I almost want to end the session there. We did start late. I will leave it up to you. Do y'all want to continue to our 12:30, 12:45, or shall we leave on a cliffhanger of all cliffhangers?
I want to keep going,
Hey,
but
Fraser.
you know, the grandpa.
I was about to say, is everybody waiting on me? Yeah, no, I can go another 30 minutes at least.
We will continue then.
I'm gonna blip away to use the restroom.
That's okay.
Unless
Yeah, it's midnight. You gotta pee. It's like clockwork. Wow, what a hell of an episode to start, guys.
Damn.
As we fade back to all of you, Devin's not here anyway. What is your reaction to seeing this?
I mean, I would be surprised if we're still. Like, I've already rallied Spot, the Pegasus. I'm ready to go try to help. But I mean, I don't know if we can actually get there.
You know that from Oralbar, you're not far from the Shriekwood. Less than a day's flight, but the Shriekwood is a massive expanse of land. It is not something that you saw nothing that tells you immediately this is where they were. And you realize that you're going to need help. This is, this thing that took down Z and Tabitha with little struggle. This thing means business. It's an all hands on deck kind of situation. Now, you all know from your experiences and the coordination you have with each other that Valkyr is in the Underdark. He is in Menzo Bernanzin, I think I'm saying that right, trying to free people who are enslaved there. You know that Zatari is hard at work, actually working in the Nine Hells. You know that, oh shit, who's our third? Oh, Talaband. Talaband is in the Feywild. These three allies that make up the other 6 lords are gone. They cannot. Bergen is pale-faced, knowing that he has a duty, but is now honestly reconsidering.
The greatest healer in Faerun.
He's like, man, I couldn't bring back Z if I tried. If we're being honest, like, dude doesn't die normally. I don't even know what this. I mean, power word kill. Just utter a word and instantly drop someone. That is incredibly powerful magic beyond anything that I can do.
That's happened to me twice now, by the way. Twice.
Ass.
Twice? What was the other thing that power word killed you?
Slagrathel, technically, I think power word killed me.
Did he? Oh.
Are you just going to come back as a water elemental this time?
Let's have to wait and see.
Sabura?
You have no clue. I don't know either.
Utara.
Whoa.
So we are. Bergen says that I have a duty to my people, but I have a duty to you as well. Find him. When you do, call upon me, and I'll do what I can. But you need more help. You need to go. You need to get the bear out of hibernation, my friend.
I've been trying for years.
This might be a special event for you.
Did you guys screenshot it while I was watching so we could show Gulbrand?
Hold both sides of the orb and it takes a screenshot.
Press on both sides.
Pandora, Ark, how do you guys feel about what's your reaction to this occurring?
I'd say mine's about the same as Davos's. About midway through, start boarding this ship.
Honestly, I'm used to seeing this guy die. I'm like, he'll come back up. He'll pop right back up. I'm not worried about it.
All make your way aboard the ship. The Westwind Wyvern heads out. You guys have been. You actually have a chart that Gulbrand has helped you make. In other words, y'all have taken a map and he has shown you where they travel in their rotation. So you know where they are supposed to be. Being summer, they're actually just north of the Star Mountain. Not too far up, not too far down. A day's ride away in the Wyvern. Do you say anything to Helena before you go, Davos?
Love you, bye. No, I would just relay. I mean,
Gotta save the world!
She's met Vikura. I know.
And I imagine she knows Tabitha fairly well as a fellow herbalist alchemist.
Right. I would tell them that they're in danger. And that's why we gotta go try to save them. It's not me trying to save the world, I'm just trying to save a friend.
She looks at you and she's heartbroken. She is torn. She wants to keep you here. She wants to keep you safe. And she knows in this instance that she can't. She's going to give you another potion of superior healing. If you want to add that to the chat, and even throw in a greater as well. It says, I wish I had more to give, but this is the only thing I have prepared. Anything else would take me at least a couple of days to get brewed. Be safe. And be careful. I love you. And she kisses you. You guys climb aboard the ship and make your way to where you know your friend Gulbrand to be. However, when you arrive, it is a rather dour scene in the Uthgard. It takes you a little longer than expected. They've gone farther north than where you anticipated them. If y'all are on the map, here is where New World Bar is. Y'all expected to find them somewhere just north of the Storm Mounts. Actually, the tokens are over here, just over here. But you find that they have gone a little farther, as they are, as they are making their way to Stone Stand to lay someone to rest. The ship descends, you see the figures flag you down. And while many of these are faces that you recognize, you do not see the face that you are seeking. Nor do you see Gideon or Hydia. But what you do see is a figure giving a eulogy. You recognize this as Eden saw, Gulbrand's son, who is the lore keeper of his tribe, who keeps the history of his people. And you're catching the tail end of his eulogy. They are survived by Chief Revna Moonmusk, Gideon Starkeeper, Najal Firstfang. He names about 8 or 10 more names. And myself, Lore Keeper Edensaw. May Uthgard guide their soul through the afterlife and beyond. The eulogy ends, and the Uthgard forlorn, hearts heavy, start to go their separate ways. And suddenly, there is a figure beside you that you recognize. And it is Gulbrand. Gulbrand, I didn't want to tell you about this in advance because I wanted it to be a surprise. A somber surprise. Your wife, Hydia, has passed. She was felled in combat, the way she would want to go. And in honor of her, in sort of realizing... Oh, I seeing a message pop up from you in this moment. Okay. Seeing... in this moment of her passing, you sought to do something to honor her. And that led you to wanting to do something grand and reckless and stupid. Like try to hunt a rock single-handedly. And if we flash back just hours ago when this was occurring, as Gulbrand hurtled toward the earth, the one-winged rock spiraling out of control where it is certain to crash and die, and wild shapes into a bird instance before hitting the ground, they can't regain hit points thing. That is brutal. But honestly, it made for intense moments and storytelling, so, you know.
You stay away from Helena, you bastard.
Helena got a lot of attention the last go-round. You know, she almost died from Donovan and shit a couple of times, so I'm not going to focus too heavily on her, but nobody is safe.
Well, shit, I regret telling you that Pandora got herself a bow. Like, damn.
Right.
We're stashing
In fact,
him away.
I happen to know that all of you have a lover or 12, so, you know, there's things to keep in mind.
No.
He knows how to get to us.
But as you guys see Gulbrand alive, what is the initial reaction among the party?
I thought he was dead at first. So, when I found out it was Hydia, it was relief, but still a great sadness. I would go and offer...
What do you say to the big lug?
Gulbrand condolences, Why didn't you tell us? Invite us to the ceremony. We would have been here sooner.
It was a matters for the tribes, and I couldn't find.
We're the tribe, bro.
Only some, so I think only Z's. Z's, yeah, those were some. Yeah.
Hard.
I don't remember how many of you were inducted to the tribe.
They're all honored as honorary. Well, actually, now that I say that, happened at Deadstone Cleft. So technically, Pandora Arc and V are not. They're held in the same standard, but they were not. They're not as well known in the tribe as Davos is.
Also, not entirely my choice. Rivna is chiefs now. Did not spend as much times with you alls as I did. But they're all here together, mostly. That's not good news.
As a lore side note for people watching home, Revna is one of Gulbrand's 30 kids. Actually, one of the few kids, maybe not few, one of the kids that is actually of him and Hydia, rather than him and somebody else. Sorry.
Yeah, we hate to be giving you worse news on this day, but we need to get to the Shriekwood. V and Tabitha are in trouble.
We need it done.
I think we all need solved.
Time will tell, Gully.
That does not sound good. You said Z and Tabitha are in troubles.
Yeah.
How do you know?
I was scrying so we could find Vikura to solve this riddle, and we saw him go down somewhere in the Shriekwood from a... Do we even know what that thing is?
The way that scry works, you technically only see a close proximity. This thing was not close enough. You saw Z and Tabitha casting spells towards something. You saw them trying to talk to something. I keep saying Z, I'm sorry. V and Tabitha. But you did not see what this entity was. You were never close enough in proximity to Tabitha, whom you were scrying. You saw the Pit Fiend, because he got up in her business, clearly. But
It was I would tell him Pit Fiend and something else, and Vikura and Tabitha are pretty tough. We need to move quickly and with as much help as the Blue Bears can spare.
There will be some reorganizations after Hydia's death. You really think this is important, dangerous?
A matter of death and life.
Fiends. I guess I'll need to go see Gideon's briefly, but I will go looks with you.
Do you need me to help you walk over there? 'Cause you're a little foggy in the eyes there.
I could tell it was you by the smell of cheap colognes.
cheap colons, he says.
Colognes.
But actually, you guys, this is something that I meant to say during the sessions. Gulbrand and Bergen, whenever you do meet, Bergen and Davos, whenever you do meet Gulbrand, typically at the annual festival when he comes, both of you cast a greater restoration in him to help slow down his condition. Without medical attention, he would be fully blind at this point. He still has cataracts, but they are faded.
I forgot to describe the cataracts earlier.
No, you're fine. So he still has vision. He still sees well enough to fight. Maybe not at a great distance. If he could read before... Oh, he learned to read. Reading is difficult for him now. More difficult.
I don't know. I don't know that he can read it all. I like to think he can see Davos's form, but he may not be able to see how many fingers he's holding up. Etc., etc.
Think about this. You stop... Once Gideon was trained, I imagine you stopped Starkey, which has slowed down the progression of the degradation of your eyes. And this medical treatment, while infrequent, has made some progress. In fact, Davos, if you pump, I imagine this being a thing between you, you might even do it now. Provide him with some great restoration, and that sort of murky figure that you could tell from like the shape of the silhouette, and becomes a little more clear. It's still fuzzy.
As soon as he's healed, he turns his head to look at Hidea's Karn.
Well, that's the thing. They don't have her Karn yet. They're in transit. They're going to take her to Stone Man.
Okay.
But her body is there's a shroud over it. I imagine if on a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 is perfect vision and 1 is completely blind, you're at like a 6. Before that greater restoration, you were at a 5. Now you're at a 6. You can see well enough to get by.
I don't want to disturb the rituals, but
No, they have to make it to stone stands to barriers. If those two are in troubles, we need to move quickly. Gulbrand will tell Revna where he's going. But he's not gonna make a big show about it. He'll tell Revna quietly if he can, and then he will just bounce. When he gets to Revna, he'll be like, "Listen, you already know why they're here. I'm going to go, but it shouldn't be anything like the last time I left."
Death precedes them quite frequently, fathers. It would pain me greatly to lose both you and Baba. Not Mama. You're Baba, I know, but I don't know if I ever gave her a name for Hidia. To lose Ma and you, Baba, would be a tragedy. So close. Please do not burden my heart so.
I'm not far off as it is. I would rather die
She
like
smacks
an
you.
Uthgar.
Like an Uthgar, she smacks you.
You get the ideas.
If Chief, and that's what she'll do. She'll still refer to her as Chief, as an honorific. If Chief was still here, she would want me to tell you to shut the fuck up. Do not speak such things. It is bad omens to put that into the world.
It's not uncommon. I know you're still youngs, but many elders have marched off into the forest to face the death that they want.
Somewhere in the distance, Griselda, in her 90s, impossibly old, this withered old woman who killed the rock to begin with. Speaking of, at this funeral, there is a massive bird that has been roasted, and people are feasting on it. And you can see Griselda, like, over by the bird, it's like, mine was bigger. Davos did mention something about all the help you can muster. Do you ask Revna about that?
Part of me thinks Gulbrand wouldn't want to.
That's very...
But what are they... did you have something in mind, Davos, that they can do? I don't think it's wise to venture into the forest with a large groups. Most of them will slow us down. He jerks his thumb to like most of the tribe.
You would also... Sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
I don't think we need an army. Just, a couple people that can come along. Maybe offer some additional healing. Maybe someone with experience fighting a pit fiend.
That is right. You would know exactly what that creature was, Davos. That's fair.
Don't think we would. You're looking at him. I'm the closest things to otherworldly killing that we get.
No, we can't take Gideon.
I would like Devin wants to know where Gideon is. What the fuck is Gideon's? Got to talk to him anyway. Oh, the DM died. If after that conversation, you say, any helps you can send somebody to keep tabs on me if it makes you feel better. But I have to go anyways. That little elemental fucker got to help him.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Can y'all see me?
No. Looks like it's trying to load.
Yeah, it's doing its best.
But you can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there. Okay. So, Gulbrand, you would know that Gideon is Starkeeper of your tribe. He does travel with the tribe. You know that he is likely, in true funeral regard, speaking to people who have passed on, or speaking to the people that knew his mother. even though she is not his biological mother. As an Uthgard, you raise each other as family, and she is, took him in as her own. Gideon sees you at this moment of conflict, and he'll sort of put an arm on Kaya, the Black Raven Uthgard, who is now his wife, and she sort of lets him slip away, and Gideon approaches and goes, Uncle Davos, always good to see you. Least of all when you bring terrible news, I'm assuming?
No.
I don't
Yes.
believe you for a goddamn second.
This one gets it.
No deception or insight check necessary.
I never want to come in these terms, but we do need your help. You know it.
He will kind of side-eye Gulbrand. Davos, I've got to level with you. We have a chief, and we have a Starkeeper. And these are the people who lead our tribe. We've just lost our chief. To send both of our Starkeepers into battle might be considered foolish. Especially as Gulbrand is really the only Starkeeper with a generation's worth of experience. He taught a bunch of us.
Yeah, train
We are
5
not-
more of you fuckers.
Yeah, but it is not a common gift. But I could perhaps come with you. But I think putting myself into a position of peril would be detrimental to the tribe. And while I love each and every one of you dearly, and I owe you my life, my freedom, my liberty, this is my family. And just as you have Alyssa and Helena, I have to look after my family.
I can respect that.
You
But
better.
you'll do swapsies with me, right?
One more time?
Gulbrand I'm sorry.
No, I was asking you,
I'm-
Devin. What'd you say?
I think Gulbrand does the thing that I do all the time, where he hangs his head because his joke didn't land, and then he takes his axe out from him. He says, "If you're going to be star keepers, I think you should take this." Little switcheroos, as they like to say. No. Give me the scythe. You take this. It will help you when you look. Gulbrand says, "Look," with emphasis.
Yeah. Gideon will say, "Yeah, Dad, I'm happy to provide you with your scythe. It is yours. You claimed it. You sanctified it. I am happy to lend it to you for whatever use you can get out of it. I would be remiss to take a fine tool.
Bill's axe.
I would be. Oh no, I understand. I would be a fool to take the axe that is such a valuable tool in battle away from you in a moment where you need it most. Take both. If you die, I will come get it off of your corpse. Do not worry. And I'm coming. To be clear, Gideon is going on the airship with you. He is going to travel to where you are, but much in the way that Tajin and the crew of the Wyvern might stay aboard the ship, he is going to stay with them.
I still think you should take the axe. It belongs to the current standing Starkeeper.
If I'm spending my time on the ship, I'm not gonna need it anyway. And besides,
Father,
shut up, other dad.
quit arguing. Just take the damn axe.
And he says, besides, and he pulls from the air a blade out of thin air, his packed weapon, because he is in part a warlock.
Stupid fairy shits.
Yeah, lingering gifts. Besides, I can get my own if I need.
Brain just kind of shiver in disgust and
Yeah.
He's like, the real issue you're gonna have is convincing Revna. So I'll go talk to him.
Gulbrand has to turn his head over his shoulder to spit when the fairy magic happens.
He
leave before she notices.
Gideon runs over and tells
Still
Revna.
finds me.
Yeah.
Good,
Accurate.
then we'll have more help.
Gideon goes over, smooths things out with Revna. Revna's not happy to suddenly be without her father, without one of her brothers, without the chief, responsible for her people. She still has Edensaw and Najal, other Uthgard, but it is something that she is not pleased about. Nonetheless, she understands the importance, and they owe Z a blood debt. And so, V a blood debt. And so, She allows him to go. He actually goes to Kaya, who is a former member of the Western Wyvern, and she's tagging along. They're both going to join you guys on the ship. Oh, the Wyvern! We'll get to that in a second.
I actually just posted a second ago a picture of the crew of the Wyvern in our Discord for anyone
Thank
that's
you.
not
Yeah.
in the Discord.
So that picture, there is one change. There's a couple of changes. The primary one being that on your far left, Nissa, the white dragonborn, is no longer a part of the crew. She was transfigured into the crystal dragon at the end of the last era. She was a priestess of Sardior, and as that position, when the ruby dragon was freed and needed to restore the balance, she was made one of the two missing dragons. She was made crystal, and then Felgulis, who was originally a bronze dragon, was made the topaz dragon. And they completed the 5 dragons in the Pantheon. Not Pantheon, but in the Gemstone Alliance. A few people have joined. I wasn't expecting this here. A few people have joined the crew as well. You guys might remember 2 dragonborn that were part of the newly freed. Akira and Kava. These 2 have joined you guys. And they are both... They are not level 3 as this picture indicates. That was their information when you guys saved them. But one is a cleric and one is a paladin. So they do have some healing magics to aid as well. I think the only other... Harvey Birdman is on the ship. The most important member of any crew. Let's see here. Young Vulcan, quote-unquote, young Volcano, went with you guys on the Wyvern when you left the Crimson Inferno. And then the original crew, minus Nissa, and Akira and Kava. Yeah, so that's the current crew of the Wyvern. I'll try to get an updated picture. So, you guys have your Barbarian. You have additional crew members. You have Gideon and Kaya. You feel like you're a little better prepared to head into this most treacherous of places. Gulbrand or anyone else, is there anything else you want to do before you leave the Uthgar?
Gulbrand would do some what's what I'm looking for? Not mundane exactly, but he would make sure that any stocks of things he's responsible for he and Gideon are responsible for is stocked up. Your potions, herbs, whatever that may be. Bloodweed for the berserkers. He'll make sure his pack is full. His little patch is full. Other than that, if
Revna also sends you with quite a bit of the dried rock meat for provisions.
Yeah, if they stayed the night before they left, he might do the thing, but otherwise he will not.
It will be at least a day before we get there. You could certainly do it on the way, as you have in the past, but you will have to take whatever consequences come with that. So if that's a level of exhaustion, or depending on how intense you decide to go. Because I do not think you're going to be staying the night there. I think you guys load up and set out as soon as you can, because it is a perilous moment. You still don't know what happened to Tabitha.
Yeah, that's why he's wondering if he wants to look. I don't think I'll wait. He's not convinced that this is an emergency.
I think the others drag you along.
Of course he's not. No, he's never convinced anything's an emergency. He's like,
exactly.
Worse.
Oh my god.
Not
That's very
convinced
vindicating
it's
to hear it.
emergency.
Do you choose to peer into the star? Oh, I rolled a 20.
I mean, I don't think so. He sees something that makes him think, there is some continent bending shit at work, he might change his mind. But right now, he's just going to get V out of a mess.
I imagine that along the way, Aarkunaux would inform you of his trip to Maelstrom, of the chest that he found, or that the chest that was discovered, that they believe it belongs to Imerith. As of now, you guys do not have a way in that. I don't think any of the rest of you speak Draconic, so I won't allow you to roll for it. So something's up, but you don't see any connection.
Yeah. I think he's good. He's gonna wait.
I imagine they also warn you that V was struck down by an entity that killed him with a single word. Which, would not maybe translate directly to Uthgar as 9th level spellcaster, but I think it would translate to that's a very powerful
yeah,
place.
I was about to say, Gulbrand's a powerful spellcaster in his own right. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
At least he's strong enough to know that's fucked up.
Yeah. You're sure. I've killed something with like one punch, but never one word. That's.
I guess he could ask Gideon to do it, but
Gideon isn't planning on being in combat the next day. That's certainly not, impossible. We'll say, do you have the chart up?
no, that's the problem. I
Can
don't
you
know where
pull-
it is. It's been.
Oh yeah, same. I've got it on your character page somewhere. That's fine. We'll actually come back to this next week because I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. Thank you all so very much, both players and viewers, for joining us today. What a hell of a session! I did not anticipate this going as wildly as it did, and that comes with the biggest, disclaimer I have of this session. We're exploring levels 16 through 20, which they don't even make written modules for anymore. We could die at any time, just like real life. How beautiful.
Yeah.
With that, the ominous forebodings of inevitable death, we bid you good night, and thank you for joining. We'll catch you next week, same time, same place, and all that good shit.
Like and subscribe, y'all.
Like and subscribe, and keep rolling.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time.
Good night.
Bye.